Hello, my name is METİN. This is 261st part of explanation of my theory. According to my theory and my formulas, non-rest mass of the photon. There is no rest mass in our universes. Photon in circular motion on an electron motion form. Mass is not static. Rest mass concept is invalid. There is no rest mass. 1. In accepted physics theories, whether it is classical or relativistic, mass defined as a static concept. It is as if mass is a concept attached to a static object from outside. Mass of an electron is always talked about in accepted physics like this. Electron rest mass is a constant and it is 9.11 10 to the minus 31 kilogram. But you cannot show any experiments. Thomson, Millikan, oil drops experiments. You cannot show any experiments where rest mass of an electron was measured, because all experiments were carried out by accelerating electrons by applying voltages where electron mass was assumed that it was measured. But according to me, as soon as we make an electron accelerate, it will change its shape, and point mass distribution point energy distribution also on this electron will change, because experiments only measures point effects of an electron. Oil drops experiment of Millikan, Thomson experiment, etc. Because experiments, this is so important, because experiments only measures point effects of an electron, so these measurements will not be rest mass measurements of this electron. 2. According to me, no absolutely static object has mass, so the concept of rest mass can also be questioned. Remember, electron motion form is cyclical, ring-shaped, and its successive waves intrinsic motion form, perpetually, continuously motion form. Electron motion form itself has motion, it is itself motion form. And every point on an electron motion form, imaginary point, is inseparable point. And I have defined any point of an electron motion form, each point of an electron motion form, as the photon. Photon is an inseparable point of an electron, an inseparable point of its waves, and there is no at rest photon, there is no at rest electron motion forms surface. It has surface and it may be seen to us at rest, but electron motion form is motion form itself. Okay. Intrinsic motion of meta sensation perception matter is electron motion form, as I told you before. 2. According to me, no absolutely static object has mass. So the concept of rest mass can also be questioned. Why is there no rest mass in our universes? To answer this question, let's start from the source of mass. Unique source of mass is nothing but electron motion form, and all electron motion forms, cyclical, spherical, ring-shaped electron motion forms, three-dimensional, think of, have wavelength. In accepted physics, an electron is point particle. It has no dimension. It is dimensionless, but according to me, it has 3 dimensions and it has wavelength. And without wavelength, there wouldn't be mass. Okay? And according to me, an electron motion form can exceed speed of light, but because of being jets, its successive waves, from that moment on, only motion arrow goes on, the motion exceeding speed of light. I said that massless neutrino is electron motion arrow without waves and wavelengths. Neutrino is an electron that lost its cyclical wave shape, exceeding speed of light. To answer this question, why is there no rest mass in our universes? To answer this question, let's start from the source of mass. 3. The unique source of mass is the electron motion form. You may ask, why does an electron have mass even if motionless? Because as a spherical ring-shaped motion form of meta-sensation perception matter, all points on its surface has a point mass, no matter what point of this total surface motion you measure. Every point on this surface have linear velocity okay? Every point on this surface have linear velocity, mass, angular momentum, energy, etc. If an electron motion form were not a motion form, we wouldn't be able to talk about its mass. If an electron motion form were not a motion form, we wouldn't be able to talk about the linear velocity of a point on it. So we wouldn't be able to talk the mass of a point on it. Eventually, the sum of masses of a point points on its surface is the total rest mass of an electron motion form. What did you say? You ask me rest mass? Yes. However, this mass arises from the fact that the electron motion form itself is a form of motion. Here is the rest mass, means the mass that computed or measured on its surface motion when an electron motion form is not relocating, when an electron motion form is at rest. But it is still motion form. 4. As I have defined before, a photon is an inseparable, as I have defined before, a photon is an inseparable point of an electron motion form, and it has mass. The photon has angular motion, and there is no at rest photon. Photon cannot be at rest here. Photon cannot be at rest here because this is motion form and it is a point, an inseparable point on this total surface motion of electron motion form. Yes. There is no at-rest photon. What measurement tools have measured so far is not total mass of an electron, but it is point effect of an electron. This means that all our energy and mass measurements on the electron are nothing but point energy, point mass measurements on the electron. This means what measurement tools have measured so far is the photon mass and photon energy, whether electron motion form is at rest or it relocates. Don't forget that a photon is an inseparable point on an electron motion form. According to these results, relativistic mass concept, remember, this is relativistic mass. This is at rest mass. Okay. In root 1 minus object velocity divided by speed of light square. But there is no rest mass for photon. Photon has always mass, and photon always in cycle, in motion. There is no motionless photon. There is no at rest mass of photon or point on electron motion form. This relativistic energy, relativistic mass definition is totally wrong. According these results, relativistic mass concept, relativistic energy momentum relation, this is wrong. Okay. And Compton effect equations based on these relativistic equations and de Broglie wavelength. Compton equations, de Broglie equations based on these relativistic equations are totally wrong. Yes. I will go on next. Have a good evening. See you later.